Hi guys, it's Saturday. Welcome back to the den. So I just wanted to start by apologizing for last week. Ken was really sick and I was completely exhausted, and then I started getting sick and then kind of worked through it. So I mean, yeah, so we missed last week's video, so again, very sorry about that, but yeah, so we're back, and this week we are discussing our favorite YouTubers. So yeah, so there's not like a specific set amount, like we're listing our top 5 favorites.
It's just like whoever we think of, like, oh, you guys would probably be interested to, you should follow.
Yeah. Now, before we get into actually listing some of our favorite YouTubers, there was a recent YouTuber who took a hiatus and came back, Jeannie Cooney. I just wanted to say, like, that's absolutely incredible and admirable that she went and got professional help, that she went to rehab, dealt with her eating disorder, and I think it's absolutely disgusting the amount of YouTubers that are turning around and like, this is not what I meant
when I was cyberbullying you.
Yeah, basically like cashing in on her publicity right now. Like, she's going through so much shit and people are just like taking full advantage of it, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, you don't get to do whatever the hell you want and then just think you can apologize for it later. You're not Donald Trump.
Right. And I don't mean the Shane Dawson video, because that video is absolutely incredible. Yeah. And I have so much respect for Shane Dawson.
Yeah, he wanted to shed the light on her situation on a channel that was still getting quite a few views because so many people had unsubbed from her and weren't watching her videos anymore, that her voice needed to be heard. She needs to be vocal about eating disorders in the modern age because there's not a whole lot of people out there that are actively talking about it. Right, and one of the things that kind of was driven home to me a little bit was he was talking about, like before the actual interview started, he was discussing how eating disorders aren't necessarily just like binging and purging or just not eating. It's also the opposite, where like something that a lot of bears can relate to, and that is like you go through a lot emotionally and you just eat as a coping mechanism, which I have dealt with a lot growing up. Because food was always there, so it was always something that I turned to when I was depressed or stressed. And the weight that I've gained over the last year is not related to that whatsoever. That's completely related to quitting smoking and being incredibly happy and content and married. So yeah, people tend to put on weight after they're in a relationship or after they get married, or yeah. So, but I just thought that was a good one to mention off the hop. So yeah. What is her problem? We're not paying attention to her. Oh, right, yeah. So Susie started this thing lately where she's incredibly vocal. It's actually been since Tuffy's passed. She's like completely come out of her shell. She is so loud, so vocal. Her personality's coming through. Yeah, so she wants our attention so much more than she did before. And treats. Yeah. I have created a monster. Yeah, so she was never like big in treats or anything. Like every once in a while she would get soft food, and every single time I see her I'm giving her more crunchy snacks, more soft food, more treats, and now, yeah, I'm sorry. My little girl's not so little anymore. I can't be the only one in this house gaining weight, thank you. No, I'm gaining it too. Anyway. So back to our favorite YouTubers. So, do you want me to start things off? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm away, you kind of already started off, but... So, one of my favorite YouTubers, and some of you might think this is a weird choice, or not something that you would ever think about, but probably one of the people I've subscribed to for the longest is a channel called Ask a Mortician. Oh my god, she's so awesome. Yeah, it's a female mortician. Her name is Caitlin Doty. She's based out of Los Angeles, and she talks about all these things that are not only like your general Q&A, like what happens to my body after I die, can I have a funeral at home, but like all of the things that go with it, like making sure that you have everything set to go, like everyone in your family knows your wishes once you're gone, that sort of thing. But she kind of puts this humor and honestly like a feminist spin on things, which I love. And she does a lot of these videos about iconic corpses with the stories of, like, I just watched one on Vladimir Lenin and what goes into keeping him looking like he does to lie in state, that kind of thing. So some might see that as a little bit morbid, but to me it's more of a curiosity of how different traditions are in different places and things that you can do to lessen burdens on other people once you're gone, and just general information and cool stories.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah. So that would be my first recommendation. Also, there's a channel called Pushing Up Roses that I like. In the same vein of a little bit creepy, she does a lot of murder mystery things, so she'll review a lot of games that have to do with murder mysteries. She does reviews on a lot of episodes of Murder, She Wrote, which just gets right to my gay heart. But she's also feminist as hell, also talks a lot about mental health issues. She's very straightforward about who she is and what she struggles with, and it's very refreshing to hear that. And she's just got a lot of content that's very, very interesting.
So one of my absolute favorites is this Canadian YouTuber. She's absolutely insane, but in the good way. Emilia Fart. She did a crossover video about a month ago with Shane Dawson and with Trisha Paytas. And so yeah, she is basically like a daily vlog. It's her therapy. And she's an out lesbian, and she just talks about life and the most quirky things. And in one of her latest videos, she went on a date with somebody and just like kind of getting through like your 20s and learning as much about yourself as you can. And it's really interesting and really quirky and fun. Sometimes some of the videos are a little bit heavy, but they're, like I said, they're her therapy. So
yeah, it's like very raw and exposed, but she does that on purpose to let her viewers know that it's okay to have those feelings and to be in those situations, and it's okay to ask for help or to talk to people about it.
Yeah, so she's really funny.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
Freaking hilarious. So the first video that you showed me was this one where she was on this inflatable swan raft floating in the lake at the park by her house.
Yeah.
I love her videos. She's based out of Quebec.
Yeah, Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal.
Montreal's in Quebec.
Well, yeah.
She's from Ontario, though. She's not French-Canadian.
Yeah.
She's actually from, not that far from here, Burlington.
Mm. Yeah, wasn't she in a grocery store in Burlington?
Yeah, she does this series of
dyeing
my hair blue in random places. So she'll like be walking around in a drugstore with a tub of Manic Panic and just dyeing her hair on camera while talking.
Yeah,
and
strangers are walking around. Like
half the time you see security come up and kick her out of the place that she's in. Like, I think she did one where she was in IKEA and she got kicked out. Like, oh my god, she's a nut bar, and I absolutely love her.
Yeah.
So she's pushing for 1 million subs. She's at like 780,000 right now. So that was always worth a good watch, a good giggle if you're looking for something new to watch.
Yeah, I do subscribe to a few like restoration channels. There's one called Hand Tool Rescue. It's a guy out in Saskatchewan who takes these older either power tools or hand tools and completely strips them down, takes them all the way apart, cleans them up, puts them back together, and makes them functional and desirable again. It's really, really cool to watch because I love the idea of, instead of just tossing something in the garbage, you're taking the time to make it like new again and make it functional and make it work.
Yeah, his videos are very interesting to watch.
Yeah.
They kind of remind me of that guy who does the painting restorations. Baumgartner.
Yeah, Baumgartner.
And he takes like these old Victorian paintings and like resurfaces them, does touch-ups,
Yeah.
fixes the canvas that they're on. They're absolutely incredible, and a lot of his videos get reposted through third-party companies on Facebook.
Yeah, just
So
the
he
other
loses
day.
credit. For
Just the
some
other
of
day,
his
he was
videos.
going on Reddit about how his content's getting reposted, and like, this is my work. If you like
Yeah.
what you see, go to my YouTube channel and support me. Like,
Right.
it's sad when you have to chase down your own work and say, go look at the original.
Which is, I mean, it's exposing his
Craft.
channel and his craft to more people, but the problem is the views that he's getting aren't for him.
Right.
They're, like I said, it's a third party that's reposting his videos.
Yeah.
So it'd be like if all of a sudden we did a video that went viral and somebody literally stole the video, reposted it on Facebook, and took all the credit for it. Like, it's ridiculous. So if you ever come across Facebook videos, always check and see if there's a YouTube channel attached, so that way the proper artist is getting the proper credit.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's that guy that plays the ridiculous Mario Maker levels that you.
Oh
you
yeah,
watch.
I don't subscribe to I'm not really super into video games, but when they announced the new Super Mario Maker, it's something that I wanted to check out, and I started looking at these YouTubers and Twitch streamers that do they play like the super expert levels. So there's a guy, Ryukahr, and I'm not sure where he's based out of. I want to say it's California, but just watching these insane Mario level creations and watching them try to get through them without using all of their lives up is kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
And people are like, how can you just sit and watch somebody play video games? I'm like, you sit and watch people throw a ball up and down a field.
It's
like,
no different than Twitch streaming, like watching somebody playing something live on Twitch. Like, yeah, I'm subbed to so many YouTube channels, but the specific ones that I watch regularly, I'm like drawing a blank right now.
Yeah, I mean, I subscribe to some like car related ones, like Mighty Car Mods. They're guys out of Australia. To ChrisFix, who shows you how to fix your own car, which is great for somebody like me that has an old car with a lot of problems. And then there's a channel called WatchJRGo that I subscribe to because he does a lot of restorations. He does a lot of car flips.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to see what he does to get a car looking so much better than it did in the first place without really putting, hundreds or even thousands of dollars of work into it.
Right. One of the channels that I subscribe to is, so it's not an independent channel, it's CBC Docs, and so it's Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and they usually post like little snippets from news briefs, or they'll post like interviews with certain people. Every once in a while they'll post something related to like just drag culture or Aboriginal culture, different things like that, and it's just very interesting to see different views of Canadian culture that you don't normally see in mainstream media, and it's not even stuff that they really air on their physical channel, CBC. It's more like, it almost comes across more independent. And for those of you who watch Boulet Brothers, Dragula, Season 3, one of the drag queens that was announced, I actually watched an interview with her talking about how she got her inspiration, growing up as a Mexican immigrant living in Canada, like what brought her to her visual aesthetic and all of that. So it's a really, really good YouTube channel. I tend to watch that every once in a while, and it's interesting getting different perspectives on different things that you don't normally hear about.
Yeah. And we would be remiss if we did not at least mention the fact that two of our den members also have their own YouTube channels.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got Greg Ballard's got Gamer Redefined. It posts a lot of gaming news, a lot of general tech stuff as well.
And he's been featured on a radio station.
Yeah, there's an AM station based out of Rhode Island that he's been featured on. That I'll put down on the bottom of the screen here because I can't. I think it's like 5:50 a.m. or something.
Right. We're immensely proud of him.
Yeah,
it's
we are.
So awesome.
We are. And then our own Ed has his channel, which I believe is 4B Studios. You'll see when he comments on the video, he comments from his channel, which is another gaming channel as well. He does a lot of playthrough, like the kind of things that you would see that I was talking about earlier, where you're playing through a level almost like a Twitch streaming. I believe he has a Twitch, and so does Jake. Jake has a Twitch as well.
Yeah.
Which we'll provide links for in the description because, we want people to watch our Den Boys even if it's not on the Den channel.
Hell yeah. Man, I hate iPhones. I'm sorry if you're an iPhone lover. I have an iPhone and I hate it. Everything about it just drives me nuts.
By the way, this video is being filmed on a Google Pixel.
Alright, so let's see here. Oh, yeah, This Old House. So This Old House, for those of you who don't know what that is, I can't imagine that there's any, so it's an old PBS show from 79. They're celebrating their 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
They take old Victorian and Georgian homes and things like that, and they fix them up for people. And they've been doing it for 40 years on PBS. They have a official YouTube channel, and they've been posting old videos, which is really fun to watch. Videos from like the 80s and the early 90s, and just seeing like what people are wearing, how people are styling their houses.
What strikes me the most about those older videos is the amount of things that the general consumer does not know that they would just know right offhand today.
Yeah.
Probably due to the fact that there's all these reality TV shows where people are renovating things and...
Yeah.
But they were on the forefront of that.
Curiosity Inc. Curiosity Incorporated. So
He's out of Alberta, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. So there's this family. They own a antique store, and they bought. It was an old artist home. Can't think of the name of the artist. She was a potter.
It was Mary something.
Yeah. So basically, they bought her house. It was a hoarder house, and they completely cleaned it all out.
That's an understatement.
Gutted it, fixed it all up, and they sold it. And they're buying a old antique style general store and like working on that. It's a whole family that does it. It's really, really cool to watch. We watched the entire series of them fixing up the hoarder house, and it was really, really interesting, really fun.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see the things that they found because this lady was a famous Canadian potter. And she was extremely up in age. I think she was like 104.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, the stuff that she had just laying around would just be junk to her. But to those of us who are keen on antiques and, like, mid-century things, she had a ton of it. Because that was kind of her heyday, so to speak. But I think the one thing that blew me away was they were digging through that big pile, and they found an old purse or pocketbook or something, and there was just like $2,500 in cash stuffed in it.
Yeah, older build. Not they were still plastic because they're Canadian, you know. But it was the first run of plastic bills, and they were in mint condition. Like it was really cool.
I miss the smell of paper money.
So if we didn't mention Miss Coco Peru's channel,
oh God, how did we miss that?
Yeah. You can't talk about favorite YouTube channels without talking about Coco Peru because she's incredible.
It bothers me.
It bothers me. pearlbizarre. I love her series of videos that she does. So Pearl, everybody knows, drag queen from season 7 RuPaul's Drag Race. She was struggling with some drug addiction issues and some mental health issues, and managed to get it all sorted and under control, and has been doing these series of videos. What's the character's name?
I don't know, but that's all...
Roxanne.
That's all you, because that voice just... No.
So she does this girl, Roxanne, who has had way too much plastic surgery and has smoked like 10 packs of Camels a day for her entire life.
Yeah.
And does these makeup tutorials as Roxanne, and like her lips are like up to here. Like it's hilarious. He finds it a little annoying because of the voice, but I think it's absolutely hysterical.
It's just because she drones on and on in that gravelly, like, super smoke 10 packs a day voice. Yeah. After about 5 minutes, it starts to give me a migraine.
Emmy Eats. Love Emmy Eats. She always does these different tasting challenges. So she'll do, like, old military ration packs, and she's been doing this latest series where she's trying like Great Depression recipes, like pie made out of water and crackers. And
speaking of that, before I forget, if you have never watched a Cooking with Clara video, you're doing yourself a disservice. She's passed on now, but there's a series of videos that she did over about a 4 or 5 year span where she shared recipes that she and her family used to make during the Depression, and it's really interesting to see people make food out of very, very limited supplies, and quite frequently little or no meat involved whatsoever. There was an episode where she actually went out into the garden, or into her backyard with her grandson, and pulled dandelions and chopped off all the roots, put them in the sink, and washed them out, and then put everything into a salad, made a dandelion salad. Just really interesting to see how you can basically make something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, a lot of the ones that I'm subscribed to are a lot of official channels.
Yeah, and we kind of skipped over like musician channels because it seems like an obvious type of thing. Not from the standpoint of like if there are musicians that have personal channels, but like music channels, like where they post all of their stuff that you would see on MTV.
Right. If MTV still played videos.
True. We're old. Damn, you follow a lot of drag queens.
Oh god, yeah. Aquafina, Toki Monster, Purdue,
Kesha, West,
Blackbriar, like a lot of music channels on my list here. JJMcCullough.
Yeah, he's based out of BC, British Columbia. He's actually a conservative. He used to do a lot of stuff for The Sun, which was kind of the Canadian equivalent of Fox News, but it died off, basically.
Yeah.
He tries to do a lot of things that are unbiased, like where he'll talk about political issues in Canada, like political issues of the day. He does periodically come across, is you can tell he's definitely got his mind made up about certain things, but he tries to stay kind of central on most issues, especially when he talks about American politics. Mm-hmm. He basically tries not to condemn Trump, but you can kind of tell that he thinks he's a moron. Yeah, his channel is very interesting because not only does he talk about political issues, he also does a lot of vexillology, the study of a hobby of flags, basically. Where we'll talk about different countries' flags and like meanings behind them, and historical videos as well. And it's interesting to see that from a Canadian's perspective because, especially me as an American, I'm so used to seeing everything history related from an American standpoint. So to turn that kind of on its head and to hear it from someone from a different country is interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, one that I definitely have to mention is Stef Sanjati. She is a trans YouTuber from Toronto. Well, she lives in Toronto now. She was from... It's not that far from here. I think she was from Oshawa or something like that. And she is incredible. She's done some really great videos just talking about, her personal health issues, as well as trans issues, trans rights, stuff like that. And she has 600,000 subs. She's doing really well for herself. She's on a bit of a hiatus right now, hasn't posted a video in 2 months, but it's always interesting to hear the videos and things that she talks about. So. Lofty Pursuits is a fun one to watch every once in a while.
Yeah.
They make candy.
Yeah, and
old school style.
Yeah, they use a lot of Victorian era machines, a lot of which they purchased from an old candy shop that was in downtown Cincinnati that closed down in the 80s. And the equipment just kind of sat there until the family decided to sell it off. So he bought like a ton of it, where you kind of roll the molten candy into this machine and it comes out in whatever little shape.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to watch him do that. So I think the next question, our question for you guys is, other than our lovely channel, what channels do you guys subscribe to? Is there a theme? Do you subscribe to a lot of LGBT content? Is there someone that we haven't mentioned that you are, based on what we've said, you're like, oh my god, if you like this, then you would love this? Or is there something that just like, oh, this is really my cup of tea and I think you guys would enjoy it?
Yeah, definitely. Now there's a lot that I watch that I didn't mention.
Yeah.
Hot Ones is a great one.
Yeah, it's the channels I think called First Be Feast.
There is Zachary Campbell's reaction videos and music video and music reviews. His are always really good. Like there's so many channels that I watch.
Yeah. I watched that weird Muniz channel where that guy takes episodes of Drag Race and like cuts them up and adds sound clips and different video clips to it.
Right.
So like you're watching an episode of Drag Race from the current season, but then you see like Sasha Velour or Mimi I'm First just randomly pop up.
Right.
That's going to be it. So we had a long-winded amount of recommendations. But again, is there anybody that you watch that you want to share with us or share with the people that watch The Den? What would you like to hear from us in the next couple of weeks? Q&A would be a good, since Ed just did his, we'd like to do a Q&A too. But yeah, just let us know in the comments below, and we will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, like us on Facebook, tell your mama. But until then, guys, bye!